My name is Karren Visser. I'm a photographer, and during 2020 and 2021, I've been working with Multistory and Sandwell Visually Impaired, also known as SVI, on Seeing in Isolation, a new digital project that aims to challenge understanding of sight loss and show that blind and visually impaired people want to be part of the visual world. In addition to this, we want to provide opportunities for the local blind and visually impaired community to make photographs and get involved in creative activities. Many people I spoke with had expressed a belief that they couldn't be involved in a project like this. It seems fitting to start with a self-portrait of me behind my laptop, given the virtual nature of the project because of the coronavirus pandemic. I'm in low light, framed by an alcove behind me. My long brown hair is parted in the centre and I'm wearing glasses. My expression is one of quiet concentration. Before I share more about this collaboration, I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. This old, rather blurred black and white photograph is of me as a toddler. I'm wearing an all-in-one outfit and a white t-shirt. I'm looking up at the camera with my eyes scrunched and a very large, toothless grin. I've been playing in the dirt. Apparently, I used to wait at the back door with a dog to be let out. As a child, I was oblivious to the possibility that the way I navigated my surroundings close up was unusual. I grew up on a farm in the Western Cape of South Africa, surrounded by high mountains. I spent a lot of time on my own and loved being close to nature. There I learned to bark exactly like a baboon, listen out for snakes, know of the spots visited by a leopard, and spend hours floating in rock pools. I was 5 years old when a giraffe licked my face in a game reserve. I was seated on the veranda of our holiday accommodation, eating a bun. My mother was having an afternoon nap, and she heard my astonished cries. She rushed outside, asking me what happened. I said an animal had licked my face, and its tongue had big bumps. I recall her saying to my father, "There is something wrong. Karren did not see the giraffe." Like many photographers, I prefer to be behind the camera. This is one of my favourite images of me taken by a friend in October 2004. I'm seated on a rock overlooking a vast stretch of land in springtime, with a deep blue mountain range covered by soft clouds and an open sky. We were visiting what was once my childhood home. As I was born very short-sighted, I learnt ways of adapting that would influence my personality. I go about things in a rather slow, methodical fashion. To some extent, I hid my visual impairment until it became impossible to do so. Photography for me has been about trying to see what I cannot, or how I interpret my surroundings to fit with the way I do see. The downfall of this often is a large selection of blurred images and a small body of work. I need time to sense those I'm photographing and to observe repetitions of gestures that define individuals. My wish always is to share someone else's story rather than my own. I'll now say more about the Seeing in Isolation project. Before any of us had even heard of COVID-19, the preparatory work for the project had started with me meeting up with SVI members. I worked in partnership with the photography department at Sandwell College and SVI to run a series of photography workshops to explore being blind or visually impaired. We talked about how defining this can be and how one is perceived by the sighted community. We had fun too, and a highlight for me was exploring photographing in a swimming pool. This photograph is at the swimming pool in the Portway Lifestyle Centre in Albury. I'm with the Sandwell College students attending an SVI Aquafit class. The image shows me in the water holding a camera in both hands, looking up at the photography student, Kish. I'm wearing a swim cap, tinted goggles and a swing costume, all in shades of blue. My expression is happy and relaxed. When lockdown started and we realized that we could no longer meet up, one of our key aims was to stay connected to members of SVI and the local community, so I produced a series of audio descriptions to share. And in an attempt to keep photographing for the project, I turned the camera onto myself to document some of my lockdown moments. In this photograph, I'm running barefoot with a look of joy on my face on the golf course past 2 bunkers surrounded by manicured grass and trees. In that moment, with the endless lawn and no obstacles before me, I could forget my patchy vision. I'm wearing a dark blue peak cap, a cyan blue t-shirt and jeans, sunglasses on a strap bob around my neck. An advantage of lockdown was the opportunity to go on a local golf course. Early in the morning, I felt like I was back on the farm of my childhood. We wanted to carry on collaborating with individuals to hear their stories and decided the best way to do this was via workshops on Zoom. Here is a photo of Perm, who is on the left wearing orange, sharing her story with myself and Becky and Jess from the Multistory project team over Zoom. We are all smiling and the backgrounds show we are at home. Turning a collaborative photography project into something virtual is a challenge in itself, but to do so with blind and visually impaired people, I believe, is a first. In a very short space of time, SVI members overcame the hurdles of working virtually and using technology to do audio recordings, make photographs, and share their images from family albums. A unique aspect of seeing in isolation is that we, as blind and visually impaired people, have been instrumental in crafting our own personal digital stories and providing the audio descriptions. The process took time, as mutual trust was the bedrock of this project. The approach we took with the audio descriptions was to make them a part of what we wish to create, like a bridge between the sighted world and how blind and visually impaired people interpret their surroundings. I would like to thank Emma Chekuti, the director of Multistory, for encouraging me to explore, as a photographer, my deteriorating sight. The rest of the Multistory team for their support, with a special thank you to Becky Sexton, whose support has been immeasurable. Now I wish to invite you to look, listen and absorb the stories of Craig, Helen, Jean, Michael, Perm and Rickie. For more images and stories, you can browse the project page on the Multistory website.
Thank you for watching. This is a Multistory production created in collaboration with photographer Karren Visser and members of Sandwell Visually Impaired. The film has been made possible by funding from Sandwell Council, Arts Council England and the SCVO Vision 2030 Community Grants Programme. Words, photographs and artistic direction, Karren Visser. Producer, Becky Sexton at Multistory. Editor, Nina Jones. Accessibility consultant, Kieran Saeed.